Did you know that you can crochet two completely different animals from the same basic shapes? Here's how. My name is Ian, I'm a crochet toy maker. In last week's episode, I tested whether I could use the same basic head and body shapes to make two different animals. I wanted to make a hippo and a rhino, and it turns out that you can. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I made both by showing you how shaping works. And we're going to do that step by step. Let's start with the two ways that I tested to make the body. The one way is making it from the top down, and the other is building it up from the bottom up. These are the same pattern, they are just worked in reverse. To recap, I am trying two different ways that I know to join four legs together. So we're going to start with the top-down method, and this is the easier of the two. It starts with a circle at the top of the body, and then we work a section of plain rounds down. From this point on, we add the legs by rejoining the yarn and crocheting each leg individually. The last part is we close the bottom with a flat piece. The other way is the bottom-up method. Here we start with crocheting four legs individually, and those are four tubes, and then we join the legs with chain stitches. We leave a wide gap between the front and the back legs, and a narrow gap between the front legs, or both front legs and both back legs. And then we work plain rounds up to form the body. We decrease to close the top, and that's the back. Top down is easier. Bottom up gives you more control over the balance. These legs are short, so balance isn't really a problem now, but it would be if I was making longer legs. I did the same with the heads. I made the two heads using the same pattern, I just reversed it. So the one is from the top down and the other is worked from the bottom up. For the bottom up method, I started at the mouth and worked back towards the head. And for the top down, I started at the top of the head and worked my way down towards the mouth. These heads are technically a sphere. You get this long section by adding plain rounds in between your decreases. The only reason this thing looks flat is because I pressed it flat. The one thing I did notice, which was quite surprising, is that using decreases gave me a more dramatic shape along this nose section than using increases did. The increases gives a smoother shape. So this is the same pattern, we're just working it from a different direction. That's what bottom up and top down means. It tells you in which direction you are working towards or from. There are two other differences I noticed, both between the bodies and the heads. And the first one is that the stitches look different. you can see how the body shape changes with the shape of the stitches. These are increases and these are decreases. And then the biggest difference of all is both of these shapes gave me different sizes. The one is noticeably bigger than the other one, both for the body and for the head. But when I attached my heads to keep it authentic, I used the bigger head for the hippo and the smaller head for the rhino. And then from this point on, we're just adding details. The hippo got ears and nostrils and a short stubby tail. This ears and nostrils are the smallest circle that you can possibly make, and that's 6 single crochet in a magic ring. This stubby tail is a short chain with a slip stitch and then single crochets for the rest of it. And that's the hippo. It's the same base with different details. Now, we can take that same base body and head and turn it into a rhino. I chose the bottom-up body because of how the decreases added texture on the back, almost like for a real rhino. This, by the way, was a happy accident. I didn't plan on adding texture or keeping the colors true to the real animals. This experiment was more about the different ways one can use to build the same structure, or the different ways that one can bake the same cake. The rhino got bigger circles for ears and 2 cones for the horns. A cone is an interesting shape. To get that pointy tip, you have to do one of 2 things at the beginning to a sphere to get this little point. So a sphere is a circle, and at the beginning of the circle, we start with single crochets in a magic ring. For argument's sake, I did 6 for both. The first way to get this point is to start with your magic ring and 6 single crochets, and then the next round is to add a plain round of 6 single crochet, and then you continue to increase like you would for a normal sphere. The second way is to remove that second round entirely. To make the cone longer, I added plain rounds in between my increases. For both of these, I sewed the eyes on. That's the same base shapes with different details to make completely different animals. The basic shapes themselves didn't change. We had a sphere for a head, a tube for a body, and then the 4 legs with tubes as well. What changed is how we put them together. This was constructed from the top down, and this one from the bottom up. These 2 methods are not the only ways I could have put these shapes together. The most common way would be if I crocheted a separate piece for each of these shapes and then sewed all of that together. The possibilities really are endless. I will be sharing these patterns over on my Patreon community, but this month on Patreon, we are going deep into the most common crochet shapes you'll use in Amigurumi, and we are exploring that through making tiny food. This month's video tutorial is a cute one. It's making chicken drumsticks, and this is a combination tube and sphere shapes. Next week is a special episode because I'm going to show you exactly what I spent 100 days crocheting as part of the safari adventure story. Let me know what animal you'd like to see next. My plan is to make elephants, but that could change. My name is Ian, I'm a crochet toy maker, and this is how we go from pictures to crochet stitches.